What's up, YouTube? This is Red Devilosa from Red Devilosa Reviews. Before we get started, I'd like to say that if you haven't seen my part 1 of this particular review, please check it out, as in this video I'll be referring to that video with some of the context. You can click the card in the top corner or check the link in the description down below. With that, on to the review. Oh boy, yeah, that was quite a mess. The main issue with this movie was the bloated story with too many plot lines, too many characters, too many obscure comic book references, and most egregious, characters that aren't acting like themselves. Also, if you've seen the trailers, you've basically seen the movie. Even the ever so praised warehouse fight was in the trailers, for fuck's sakes. This was supposed to be Man of Steel 2, but after Avengers, Warner Brothers decided it was time to set up their own universe. Man of Steel was originally supposed to be a trilogy of a realistic Superman, similar to the Dark Knight trilogy. I have my own issues with Man of Steel, but I would have rather had that than having a DC universe that put way too much in the second movie of the franchise. The Superman sequel turned into an underdeveloped Justice League setup. Superman was barely a character in this movie. The one word people can attribute to Superman is hope. The symbol on his chest means hope. My favorite comic book story ever, All-Star Superman, is about Superman never giving up and always trying to find a way to do something, even when all the odds are against you. This Superman never gave that portrayal of hope. He's moody, he's always brooding. The only time he legit smiled is when he's with Lois. If these are the personality traits of Clark Kent, then what's the point of Batman? Batman and Superman have the exact personalities throughout this movie. Justice League also made all the characters more lighthearted, and again, Batman is like everyone else. It makes their dynamic boring. In fact, all the characters were stern, dark, and brooding, except for this idiot. I'm not saying Superman can't be in a dark movie, it's just that Superman should be the bright light, the hope and spirit in that dark world. At the end of Man of Steel, I thought that's where it was going. But no, we're back to square one just to be edgy. Superman cried about killing Zod, but then slams a human into 3 walls of concrete. Superman is known to be more of the jolly, light-hearted superhero that smiles and helps people, and he's corny. Some kid will say, "Nice suit, Superman," and he'll say, "Thanks, my mom made it," because he's that kind of guy. Also, his suit is too dark and muted like his personality. His Clark Kent isn't even a Clark Kent. He looks and acts like Superman wearing glasses. Christopher Reeve and Brandon Routh did a spectacular job in creating the dual personalities of Clark Kent and Superman. As Clark, they slouched, combed their hair, spoke a few octaves higher, and gave a lack of assertiveness. Is it corny? Sure, I guess. But it's believable to have a Superman acting like a human with his own quirks and flaws, because he was raised by humans. Which leads into my next problem with this Superman, the God complex. Yes, Superman is an all-powerful alien that has the power to wipe the face of the earth, but Superman is not like that. Superman grew up as Clark Kent in Smallville, Kansas. He went to school, made friends, fell in love, broke his heart. All of that on Earth. Bruce even mentions that in Justice League. When this Superman helps people, he doesn't smile or wave or show any sort of friendliness. He keeps his mute face. He acts like an alien that doesn't understand human interactions, like he's Martian Manhunter. I'm like the horribly misinterpretation of Men from Captain Marvel asking Superman to smile. Then you have the people of Metropolis questioning if there's even a point to Superman. Almost every other news scene asks the question, should there be a Superman, and the answer changes each time to the point where they shoot a nuke at him, hoping that he could take it. The 90s animated Superman had the love and trust of the people for 3 seasons. If there's one thing they could count on, it was that Superman will be there for the humans, no matter what. That is until Darkseid brainwashes him and the people are shocked to see that they are being attacked by Superman. Justice League was able to build on that lack of trust between the factions of people and Cadmus, and it worked. This Superman did not have enough time to show the connection to the people of Earth, have him question his loyalty, and be impacted by his death. As Superman, he only talked to Lois, Martha, Batman, Wonder Woman, Lex Luthor, and the military in Man of Steel. For everyone else, he was mute. Why would the public trust him before his death? The people have every right to fear Superman. I cannot take the funeral and mourning scene seriously because this Superman did nothing to deserve this amount of respect from the people. If I was a citizen of Metropolis, I would not care because he brought another Kryptonian into my city and smashed it, killing thousands of people. Then, more than a year later, he's in this controversy in Africa, he seemingly gets the capital blown up, and he sacrifices himself to another alien that is made of the same makeup of the other Kryptonian. Yeah, this alien was nothing but trouble. You show a shot of Superman's heroic deeds, but we never got to see any of those great things it said he did. What's the saying? Show, don't tell. The scenes with Clark investigating Batman was cool and all to show the disdain to Batman's methods, but my problem is that even with all that setup, Lex kills it with the Martha kidnap, and the fight just did not need to happen because they could have had a 2-minute conversation. The Congress scene made Superman look worse than before. Superman always needed someone to speak up for him and defend him, whether it's Martha, Lois, Martian Manhunter, Snyder, or his fans. He's been on Earth for 27 years. He should understand customs and be his own to defend himself. He's being accused of a crime that he did not commit, and he does not care enough to tell the people in interviews or through communications about what happened. I get that's the point of any court scene, but this is the middle of the movie talking about an event from the beginning of the movie. An event where victims were shot by bullets and were burned by grenades and flame torches. The CIA was aware of the situation, but they blamed Superman? And him flying off like a coward makes him look even more guilty and an idiot. Speaking of idiots, I find it funny how Zack and some fans were saying that Batman's no-killing policy is unrealistic. But this is a universe that has flying aliens, gods, Atlantis is real, a guy gets a full robotic suit from a magic box, and a human used a year-plus dead alien and his fresh human blood in alien juice to make Doomsday. But the no-kill rule is the unrealistic thing from the comics?
そうか。
Just like the concept of an evil Superman, Batman being able to kill is not interesting at all. He isn't Rorschach from Watchmen. Don't get me wrong, I love Rorschach, I love the Punisher, but they have different beliefs in justice and the system compared to Batman. If you bring in that concept, then why would anybody trust his choices? He's already a vigilante, so why would Commissioner Gordon trust him if he were to kill criminals too? Batman Beyond has one of my favorite moments where Bruce is old and is getting his ass beat to the point, out of desperation, points a gun at a criminal and his arm is literally shaking. It breaks him. It's much more compelling than Batfleck as we understand his code and his overall sense as a character. And for what? Because Grayson's Robin dying was the last straw? The young boy who lost his humanity after the death of his parents, and he trained to keep his body and mind to be at peak condition so that no other child, no other person with loved ones can experience what he had to. At least Watchmen showed Rorschach's turning point in breaking his no-kill rule. Even the Ultimate Edition did not show Batman's change. Only the line, "We are criminals." And if the director says that we're living in a fucking dream world, then I gotta fill in the gaps. And if I do that, it makes it much worse.
But you're living in a fucking dream world, okay?
Good. Dreams save us. Dreams lift us up and transform us into something better. And on my soul, I swear that until my dream of a world where dignity, honor, and justice are the reality we all share, I'll never stop fighting. Ever.
The opening scene with Bruce was great to see the perspective of the people during Superman and Zod's fight. It's honestly my reaction to the fight when I saw it in 2013. But then 18 months later, we learned that Batman still has a grudge on Superman. He's looking for the ship that carries kryptonite that he wants to use to kill Superman, and something's missing. Batman is going after Superman without even knowing who Superman is. I'm sure if Lex can see through Superman's terrible Clark Kent disguise, then so can Batman. If that's the case, why would he not keep a background check on Clark Kent to know about his life and his past, and know about his mother Martha Kent? If it's not like that, and Batman did not know Superman's identity until the Martha scene, like it's implied in the film, then it's much worse for the world's greatest detective. He was so hyper-focused on trying to kill Superman that he did not give a shit about what he was doing when he was not flying around, especially in the day and age of satellites and cell phones. The first time we're in the Batcave, Bruce is looking at clear videos of Superman, so no cross-references or any other detective shit. Also no tabs on Lois Lane after the Flash scene.
そうか。
Batman was watching the news on the events and saw Wally was there and is against Superman. He learns that Wally does not get his checks, and they are written with threatening notes by Lex Luthor. Batman does not ask any questions about how Wally was not able to get his money, but he seems well groomed, and he has a motorized chair, which somehow got through security with a bomb post 9/11, a chair that was not Wayne Tech, and Wally has publicly stated on the news that he is an employee for Bruce Wayne, that he is proud to work for Wayne. Bruce even saved his life at the beginning of the movie, so why the fuck does Bruce not use his detective skills to find out about Wally's character? Did the script forget to give you a brain?
I believe you.
And when the chair blows up, you decide to steal the kryptonite to fight Superman. It was so obvious that the whole thing was a setup, you dumbass. It would have been cool if Batman had a detective mode scene at Congress similar to Arkham Origins and have him piece together Lex's crime, but no. Bruce is so gullible to the point where Lex basically tricks him throughout the movie to make him fight Superman. Literally every decision Batman does is an emotional decision, not a logical one. We don't know if Batman took time off for Robin's death, but we know that Batman's been around for 20 years. He gets manipulated by a weird, outgoing, nonsensical lunatic like he's Lenny from Of Mice and Men. Not to mention, Superman is on trial for killing men with bullet wounds and grenade residue. That doesn't make sense. Not to mention, Lois Lane takes her world's greatest detective moment by identifying a LexCorp bullet and going to Wally's house and deducing that he was not going to commit suicide that day due to his groceries being restocked. Not to mention, she identified the said bullet with the same element of the chair. Also, Lex Luthor found out both of your identities, and you did not even know Superman's identity. I know I said that, but it's still ridiculous. Also, with Asian Mercy not escorting you out of the data room, there's two things because we already established that this Batman is an idiot. Either one, Mercy is an idiot, which I disagree with, or two, they know you're Batman. Neither you nor Alfred thought, wow, that was easy. Also, the choreography of the fight with Batman and Superman is just garbage. I know I've said a lot of things about Superman and Zod's fight, and it's because it was not naturally progressed properly, as Zod should not have been the first villain in my opinion, and the destruction porn is absolutely ridiculous. But that fight was really good in establishing the hits and the power of two super beings, and the choreography was great. Here, they look like two drunk guys fighting over taking a piss in the corner. Also, there's too many contrivances just to keep the fight going that you suddenly appear at the kryptonite spear. And the grenade launcher reload took about 10 bloody seconds, and Superman still flew into it.
No one stays good in this world.
Fuck off! Get out! Fucking out!
This has got to be, hands down, bar none, bold-faced, underline, italicized, the worst line I have ever heard Superman say. Ever.
Worst reading ever.
I don't think there was ever a time where I legitimately wanted to leave my seat in a theater. And trust me, this film gave me plenty of reasons to. But for Superman to be the one saying this? Superman, created by Joe Shuster and Jerry Siegel from Cleveland, Ohio in 1938, two Jewish teenagers that created this legendary character that helped people during the time of war and depression. The red and blue Boy Scout who stands for truth, justice, and the American way. The one who can punch Darkseid but will also save a cat out of a tree for a little girl. The one who cares about each individual life as it is sacred to him. The one who helped people in the real world cope with depression and suicidal thoughts from real people on Reddit. I've said it before and I'll say it again. My issue with this Superman is the fact that he does not do anything but sulk and complain about these issues. The newspaper clippings of his good deeds clearly meant jack shit for me to care. It's awful knowing that my favorite scenes from Superman for the last decade came from the CW. That trash network had some of the best Superman moments. I really find Brandon Routh as an underrated Superman. Yes, he was emulating Christopher Reeve, and I wish he would have had his own take, but he was Clark Kent. He was Superman. My favorite line from him in CW's Crisis on Infinite Earths was this.
Put this on. This crest. I made a promise to keep fighting, no matter what. Because, Lois, even in the darkest times, hope cuts through. Hope is the light that lifts us out of darkness.
He lost everything. His friends, his wife, his son. But he continues to fight on as it's his job to do the best he can to defend Earth no matter what happens to him, because that is Superman. Did Superman really have to charge up with the kryptonite spear? The point of a spear is to fucking throw it. Yeah, the kryptonite is weakening him, but why not you take the lasso and let Wonder Woman throw the spear? She has super strength and she easily went toe to toe with Doomsday while you were fucking around with Lois. Plus, she's more proficient in short range weapons compared to you. Also, she looked like she was having a blast when she got bitch slapped and then she got up laughing and smiling about it. Superman dying and then being brought back to life in Justice League takes away from what happened as it was unnecessary in the first place. What happens when Superman dies later in the franchise for good? Nobody would take it seriously. And another Rise of Skywalker parallel where the hero and the villain kill each other, though Rey's death was laughable in comparison. I've talked about Doomsday's design being whack. Snyder said that this was apparently not the real Doomsday, and basically said this.
And he's still out there!
So let me ask Mr. DC Genius, what will this real Doomsday do? Kill Superman again?
What the hell is wrong with you?
I'm really struggling to understand why people love this direction. It just doesn't make a lick of sense. That's the same logic as, no, it's not Lex Luthor, it's Lex Luthor Jr. But he still becomes bald at the end of the movie.
そうか。
Let me tear down these stupid retcons. We talked about the Doomsday thing. Trash. All you gotta say is that Jason Todd was the dead Robin, but no, Dick Grayson, and he never became Nightwing. Garbage. The General is Martian Manhunter. Why the fuck did you not help Superman against Zod and Doomsday? The furnace fire of garbage in Toy Story 3. Batman's nightmare sequence. We know that it's supposed to foreshadow the future, but how the hell do you dream the future? Especially with Parademons or Darkseid's Omega symbol, when you've never seen them before. So what, does Flash know Inception? Also, there's no point of the scene as it was a dream and it does not affect the plot because Batman doesn't listen to Flash anyways. I know what the Snyder Cut is supposed to do, but at this time 2016 it had no effect to the plot of this movie because you can easily say it was a dream. If it was a post-credit scene, it would have made more sense. Still not a fan of it because I hate Injustice as a story, but it would have been better. Lois Lane was very boring throughout the movie. The Ultimate Cut spent a lot of time giving Lois something to do, like searching for the origins of the bullet, and the lead being lined in the chair, and all this detective shit, and the main reason I don't care is because Superman doesn't care either. She's trying so hard to clear his name, and he doesn't even give a shit. Also, she magically shows up where the tension is happening. Africa, Congress, the fight, the cave troll, same location, same shit. There's Because I'm Batman, she has Because I'm a Journalist. I love Amy Adams. She's a great actress. Her, Arrival, American Hustle, she's great. It's the writing. Also, the chemistry between her and Henry is not the best. It doesn't help where between Man of Steel and BVS is an 18-month gap where a relationship would develop. Diana and Steve Trevor in Wonder Woman did a better job in conveying a romance between the two. In each scene they are together, the characters learn about each other and develop themselves as the movie goes along, and the final blow of Steve sacrificing himself makes it heartbreaking for Diana as well as the audience. It's arguably the best romance in a superhero film. Oh, and one thing. Patty Jenkins, I know you're a fan of Superman based on what I saw in Wonder Woman. Please direct future Superman movies. Zack does not understand Superman at all. Wonder Woman was great in the movie. Gal Gadot brings a lot of the warrior and spirit of hope to the character, and she's Wonder Woman in the real world. With her saying that Wonder Woman is for everyone and not just for girls, I finally don't have to be considered an idiot just because I have a dick. This was kinda tacked on, but so was she.
A surprise, to be sure, but a welcome one.
The email is still stupid as it broke the flow of the movie with Batman training and the fight afterwards. One of Iron Man 2's issues was the whole shoehorn Avengers setup, which is what's going on here. It should have just been cut altogether. And with that, let's get to the man of the hour, Lex Luthor Jr. It's honestly bizarre in how a world where everyone is so dark, sad, and serious and the one who is a joke is Lex Luthor. Jesse Eisenberg is a great actor, and I like some of the dialogue he was saying, but his mannerisms, his childish nature, and these weird tics he did throughout the movie were just a major turnoff. That edit was from Mr. Sunday Movies, link in the description. Apparently Jesse tried out for Jimmy Olsen, and they were looking at Joaquin Phoenix for Lex, and Bryan Cranston was interested in the role. Jesse as Jimmy would have been perfect for him, even though Zack disrespected him in the opening scene. Plus, how does that happen? Jimmy is known to be a more goofy character, but Snyder let him play Lex, a much more serious character? I mean, he's slightly better in the post-credits of Justice League as he stops those stupid tics, but he still looks like a kid with his high voice next to Batman, Superman, and Flash Thompson, and I can't take him seriously. I mean, if Cranston or Phoenix played this role, it would have improved the movie, but then again, I wouldn't want them to ruin themselves with this shit.
You're goddamn right.
Lex's plan to get Batman and Superman to fight is also nonsensical as it relies on the fact that they're both stupid and gullible. These two dunderheads weren't able to piece together that Lex had some involvement in the Congress explosion because I don't know, he wasn't in the fucking room when it happened? Maybe he left to take a shit, yeah, okay. Also, if you know all the Justice League members and their identities, why would you not try to trick someone with superpowers like Flash or Aquaman to fight Superman? Again, Batman's stupidity works in his favor. Also, you made Doomsday with the intent of killing Batman and or Superman. What was supposed to happen next? Would you be able to control Doomsday from destroying the world? I took one of DC's smarts, and I made him dumb. The film has way too much shit going on. The film tries to address the controversies of Man of Steel, try to catch up with Marvel, and have an origin for a year 20 Batman who's okay with killing, Lex Luthor, philosophy, the court scene, news scenes about Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman v Superman, Martha Wayne and Martha Kent, Doomsday, Parademons, Steppenwolf, Mother Boxes, Flash, Aquaman, Cyborg, the death of Superman. There's too much shit and clutter in this movie, and there was supposed to be a Joker and Riddler in the movie too, but thank God Zack had a brain and cut them out. There are 4 to 5 potentially, and the keyword is potentially, good movies in this one movie. Whose idea was that? Oh wait. You're blowing your load too soon, and it doesn't look like they learned their lesson. There's nothing wrong about giving solo movies to establish care for these characters. I know comic book fans will pick up the references you're putting down, but it's absolutely nonsensical to the casual audience. Batman teaming up with Superman was a dream come true. I was excited like many people, but when I heard that this will be a year 20, 46-year-old Batman based on The Dark Knight Returns, it was a turnoff. This old Batman would face off against a year 2 Superman with no personal relationship, no friendship prior to this movie. The fight in The Dark Knight Returns had more emotional weight due to the fact that they were friends. They had a Justice League, a past. This Batman is shown to be a killer and much more of a crime fighter, rather than the cerebral detective that protects life.
I'm dying very soon.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Could you stay with me? I'm scared.
And I wonder how his trilogy would have even worked. Batman at 46 can't give you any more stories, as he's human. You would have to do a trilogy regarding his last 20 years, which would be a terrible idea when talking about continuity. He's too old. Ben Affleck was 43, 44 years old at the time, so that could not possibly last long, case in point. Also, Suicide Squad came out the same year and featured many of Batman's rogues: Deadshot, Killer Croc, Harley Quinn, and Joker. who is somehow alive after killing Dick Grayson. Batman, you're okay with killing petty, no-name thugs for hire, but not the guy who killed your surrogate son?
そうか。
They looked much younger than Batman, so that must mean Joker recently killed Robin. So who was Batman against the last 20 years? Two-Face? Riddler? Penguin? Are they all dead or in hiding because Batman might kill them? Briefly giving exposition to Alfred about your 20-year character development means jack shit to the audience. The Dark Knight Returns is considered as one of, if not the best Batman comic ever, but it's not an accurate representation of how Batman normally is. The film misses the point of the comic, but I digress. It's the end of his arc, and you started the franchise with this Batman, who lost his Robins, his Batgirls, and he never had a Justice League. I'm not blaming Ben Affleck. Despite my negative take on this Batman, he was easily the best actor in this film, along with Jeremy Irons as Alfred. He got a lot of shit for his casting, not from me because I know he can act, even though I hated his Daredevil, being a massive Daredevil fan. At least Charlie Cox fills that role way better. His hate is not as ridiculous as Robert Pattinson because he was and still is being criticized for a role that he did 12 years ago when he has long proved himself. Affleck looks like Batman, and the suits look phenomenal as he gave them life on the big screen. These are my favorite shots of the film, and again, it's what I expect from a Zack Snyder film. I'm just not a fan of how he's written, and I'm guilty of being biased towards watching the Batman cartoons, playing the Arkham games, reading Batman comics, because Batman is my favorite comic book character. I would have been fine with a solo Dark Knight Returns film, like the way it is, with Ben Affleck and an older Superman that was not canon to this universe, because the comic itself is Elseworld. It's baffling that the second movie in the franchise had The Dark Knight Returns and the death of Superman before the introduction to the Justice League. Despite everything I have said, I still want Henry Cavill to continue as Superman. Same thing as Affleck, he looks like Superman. He's clearly a fan of Superman. His dog's name is Cal. It's irritating that the most Superman-like moments from Cavill are when he's not on the big screen, but in interviews. The smile, the charisma, is all there and it reminds me of Superman, and all of it is stripped down to the common denominator on screen. I believe that Justice League, even though it's a terrible movie, it got Superman right, and I credit that to Joss Whedon, not Snyder. He was more energetic, smiling, a bit corny. The suit's brighter, he's saving people and all that. It literally felt like Superman Rebirth. Now, it wasn't built up due to how much of an emo dick he was before, but it was a Superman that I could recognize. Henry also said this: "There's a lot I have to give for Superman yet. A lot of storytelling to do. A lot of real, true depths to the honesty of the character that I want to get into. I want to reflect the comic books. That is important to me. There's a lot of justice to be done for Superman. So yeah, Warner Brothers, bring back Henry as Superman. Just keep Snyder far away from him." I just had faith that DC would be heading in the right direction. I enjoyed Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Shazam, giving the solo movies before the team up. I'm not saying go full MCU with all the quips and the lighthearted tone, because Warner Brothers is not afraid to go dark or rated R unlike Disney. Just keep the characters the way that they are, and that will show why people are fans of these characters. But with talks about Justice League getting a new cut after 4 years, which I'm glad Zack has a chance to complete his vision after what happened to him and his family, I have no ill will to Zack. He seems like a cool dude. But this makes the direction of the universe much more confusing. And the Flash movie is supposed to be a multiverse movie and not something that could reset or reboot the franchise. This means that every DC property that has ever existed is canon now, from Adam West Batman to Christopher Reeve's Superman, and probably Watchmen and V for Vendetta at this point. But that's for another day. I'll end with this.
If you give a mouse a cookie,
He's gonna want a glass of milk.